Enter Jim Dragon Kelly.
So, people think that, I think some people out there might think that Jim Kelly just became a star overnight. He just all of a sudden was in the right place at the right time. And I refuse to let people tell me that I couldn't become an actor. And a lot of people try to tell me that.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
What I really didn't like about Enter the Dragon was that I didn't really get a chance to do my thing.
They told him a black karate champion with an explosive afro would never be a star. But then the camera rolled and the entire world had to stand up for the man they called a phenomenon, Jim Kelly. Enter the legendary Jim the Dragon Kelly. Many people think Jim Kelly became a movie star overnight, but he was the one who refused to let anyone tell him he couldn't become an action star. A black man, a world-conquering karate fighter, an action icon with a legendary afro. Hollywood once dismissed him as just a dark face to decorate Bruce Lee's spotlight. Filmmakers would smirk when he walked into casting rooms asking, who would watch that dark man? But when the camera rolled, the audience heard the sound of a kick slicing through the air. The world stood up. Hollywood had to admit, this man was a black phenomenon. His name is Jim Kelly. Yet behind the spotlight are secrets he never shared. He was a warrior who walked away from the lights to protect his final dignity. Don't look away, the story behind a legend begins now. Before we dive deeper into the legend, hit that subscribe button for the Fame Game and join us as we uncover the true stories behind the world's most iconic figures. James Milton Kelly was born in 1946 in Millersburg, Kentucky, a region severely divided by Jim Crow laws. He grew up surrounded by tobacco fields and constant fear, destined, according to society, for silence and labor. His father worked a low-status job for the Navy. It was enough to feed the family, but not enough to resist the oppression. At Bourbon County High School, Jim discovered his natural power in sports. He was a dominant force on the basketball court, the track, and the football field. He became a rare symbol of pride for the black community, earning a football scholarship to the University of Louisville. But in college, Jim witnessed the cruelest face of racial hatred. When his coach spat bitter words about black players, the team stayed silent. Only Jim stepped forward. The result was immediate. He was kicked off the team, his scholarship was cut, and he dropped out. Jim knew clearly, if I bow my head today, I will crawl for the rest of my life. He chose karate, the path of those who refuse to live an ordinary life. Leaving Louisville with nothing, Jim began training in Shaolin Do Karate in Lexington under Master Sin Kwang. He spent days punching heavy bags until his knuckles bled, often sleeping on the cold dojo floor. He sought out multiple masters, learning Okinawan martial arts and real combat. Then came the year that changed history. At the Long Beach International Karate Championships in 1971, Jim Kelly defeated a series of opponents and became the world middleweight karate champion. He won 3 more major titles that year. When a reporter asked how it felt to be the first black champion, Jim simply smiled and replied, "I'm not a black fighter. I'm the best fighter here." The American martial arts world had to look at a black man with respect and fear. After his victory, Jim opened a dojo in Crenshaw, Los Angeles. His reputation soon reached Hollywood, a black martial artist with lightning-fast kicks. In an era where Hollywood wanted black men to shave their heads and not stand out, Jim Kelly did the opposite. He kept his afro blazing like a flame. Kelly didn't try to act, he simply was himself, a champion with eyes sharp as blades. His destiny was sealed with Enter the Dragon. In 1972, Warner Brothers was preparing the historic martial arts film starring Bruce Lee. They needed a real black warrior, someone who fought with pride and honor. Producer Fred Weintraub found Jim Kelly after hearing about the dominant fighter at Long Beach. The role of Williams had been cast, but the original actor quit at the last minute. Jim walked into the studio with unshakable confidence. Every whisper about his skin color vanished. He brought his own style, cool, bold, and ready for combat. Weintraub saw a body like steel and speed like lightning. No more auditions were needed. Jim was officially cast as Williams, becoming the first black martial artist to stand shoulder to shoulder with Bruce Lee in a Hollywood martial arts blockbuster. If you are enjoying this deep dive into Jim Kelly's legacy, please like this video to help the Fame Game share this story with more fans. On the Hong Kong set, Jim Kelly and Bruce Lee shared the gaze of two warriors. Jim later called working with Bruce one of the best experiences of his life. Bruce Lee quickly grew to respect Jim, saying while watching him train, "The camera is going to love this man." Jim Kelly brought a powerful, confident energy to the film. He stood tall beside Bruce Lee, equal in fighting skill and iconic status, shattering the stereotypes of 1970s Hollywood. On screen, Jim Kelly didn't need props. He was the weapon. His legendary split kick looked like a black eagle tearing through the air. His sidekick was a single storming strike, sending opponents flying. He didn't kick to look pretty, he kicked to finish. He declared with every move, "I am the weapon." Jim Kelly was one of the few martial arts actors of the era, along with Bruce Lee, who performed almost every dangerous stunt himself. His combat speed was so extreme that 1970s film cameras often struggled to keep up. This raw authenticity birthed the Afro Karate style, a blend of Shaolin Do technique, powerful speed, and undeniable cultural swagger. Enter the Dragon conquered the world, earning over $400 million on a tiny budget. Warner Brothers rushed to give Jim Kelly an exclusive 3-film contract. From a humble karate instructor, Jim Kelly was suddenly a major star. His first solo film, Black Belt Jones, 1974, positioned him as the black martial arts superstar, opening the era of Afro karate as a cultural statement. Jim Kelly stood at a peak every actor dreams of, but he realized the harsh truth. Hollywood wanted him gone. He had become too powerful a cultural symbol. Studio bosses felt threatened by a black man repeatedly defeating white characters, and they pushed him into the culturally important but often marginalized black exploitation genre. Jim Kelly knew they wanted to restrict him to repetitive stereotypes. He had not spent his life fighting just to become a puppet. The world champion's dignity would never allow him to bow. He warned the press, "I don't fight for entertainment. I fight for something greater." And so at the very peak of his movie career, Jim Kelly made a shocking decision. He walked away from Hollywood. It was a radical act of self-respect. He chose honor over applause, proving once and for all he belonged to no one. After leaving fame, Kelly chose a path no one expected. He became a professional tennis player. With the iron discipline of a martial artist, he competed seriously and ranked highly in California's senior division, proving he would break any limit he faced. Jim Kelly returned to his community, teaching martial arts for free to black youth in struggling neighborhoods. He became the light, telling them, "Black people can be martial arts masters too. We don't need Hollywood to shine." In his private life, there was fracture. He had lost contact with his son from his first marriage, carrying the pain of separation throughout his rise. He later wrote, "The whole world sees me, except my son." Near the end of his life, they finally reunited, which Jim called his greatest victory. In 1980, he found peace with his second wife, Marcia Bentley, in Encinitas, away from the spotlights. He focused on reading philosophy and teaching. In 2012, Jim learned he had terminal stomach cancer. He refused chemotherapy, saying, "I've just learned enough about letting go." On June 29, 2013, Jim Kelly passed away peacefully at age 67. The news spread fast. American media called it a major loss. Fans remembered him as the Black Bruce Lee, the first icon to take black martial arts to the global stage. Generations of black action actors, from Wesley Snipes to Michael Jai White, all walked through the door Kelly kicked open. Before Jim Kelly, Hollywood only had two kinds of black characters, the joke or the villain. He left behind not just movies, but belief. The belief that a person of color can define themselves, that martial arts has no race, and that honor and authentic presence are enough to build a legend. His kicks and his iconic afro still live in every frame. He was never forgotten. One last time, please like and share this video to continue honoring the warrior's spirit. Which Jim Kelly moment gave you chills the most? Leave a comment below and let's honor this legend together. Thank you for watching The Fame Game. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue exploring the people who changed history. As long as we speak their names, they will always be remembered.